We grow up with a specific picture of reality. We picture time as a physical structure, a river carrying us along, a cosmic container we exist inside, or a fourth dimension we travel through. But try to physically point to time itself. You can point to a clock, to a melting ice cube, or an aging face. What you cannot point to is an invisible river causing those things to happen. We only ever observe physical transformation. Even our most precise instruments don't measure a flowing cosmic substance. A grandfather clock counts the swings of a pendulum. An atomic clock counts the microwave transitions of a cesium atom. They are just tracking repeating physical cycles. This brings us to a concept known as Changism. The premise is straightforward. Change is the baseline reality of the universe. Time is a human-invented ledger, a bookkeeping tool we use to keep track of that continuous change. We are not passengers drifting along a pre-existing track. Time is simply a relational accounting system, a way for us to coordinate a universe filled with constant, overlapping activity. If we drop the timeline model, we have to rethink the geometry of reality. We tend to view the past as a place behind us, and the future as a destination ahead of us, but neither is a physical realm you can visit. What we call the past is strictly a collection of physical records maintained right now in the present. Fossils in the ground, scars on your skin, magnetic states on a hard drive, or radiation arriving from distant stars. These are all ongoing configurations that encode earlier activity. Similarly, the future isn't a hidden room waiting for us to enter. It is the set of physical constraints and dispositions already in play. Think of the tension stored in a drawn bowstring, or the chemical potential inside a lithium-ion battery. They dictate what is physically allowed to happen next. Look at this video of a whirlpool in a river. We label it as a distinct object, but it is actually a temporary, self-maintaining pattern of continuous transformation. You are looking at water passing through a stable rhythm. The universe operates as a single, ongoing field of activity. The past is the records we carry, the future is the potential we hold, and the objects around us are stable patterns of change holding their shape. You might wonder how this fits with Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. Relativity, a framework describing how gravity and motion affect physical laws, is frequently misunderstood as proof that we live in a frozen, four-dimensional block where the future already exists. This animation shows what relativity actually proves. Gravity and speed act as levers that alter the physical tempo of local processes. If you take two identical clocks and lower one into a gravity well, its internal gears will cycle slower than the elevated clock. They take different physical journeys, so they return with different tick counts. This animation shows a concept from relational quantum mechanics. It treats quantum states not as absolute properties, but as interactive ledgers between physical systems. It shows us that the universe doesn't have a universal master state looking down from above. It is a network of localized interactions. A quantum measurement isn't a magical event that requires a conscious human to look at it. It is simply a physical meeting. Two systems interact, and their collision leaves a stabilized, redundant record in the environment around them. Modern physics does not demand a mystical time dimension. It gives us the precise accounting rules for how localized changes alter their tempo and how they record data upon contact. This raises an experiential problem. If time isn't a flowing river, why does human consciousness feel such a continuous, undeniable passage of flow? The philosopher Henri Bergson proposed the concept of duration, which is the idea that human consciousness experiences reality as a continuous unfolding of qualitative changes. Your brain is not a passive camera snapping static photos. It is an active prediction engine. This animation shows how your mind continuously stitches reality together. It pulls in fading physical records, which we call memory, and simultaneously projects multiple probability branches outward, which we experience as anticipation. That powerful feeling of time flowing isn't a trick of the universe. It is the subjective, biological experience of our own nervous systems actively tracking and participating in structural change. Understanding a universe of pure change has deep implications for human agency, echoing ancient Stoic philosophy. Stoicism is a school of Hellenistic thought that teaches us to align our minds with the rational order of nature, a practice famously championed by the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. In this framework, causality is not a rigid chain of events locked onto a timeline. It is the internal, organic unfolding of the cosmos. Every local action you take physically conditions the whole network around you. True freedom, then, isn't the ability to step outside of cause and effect. Freedom is the capacity to intelligently align your judgment with the reality of ongoing transformation. It is mastery over how you respond to the changing board. Once you abandon the anxiety of a pre-written future rushing toward you, your focus shifts. You can master your responses to the immediate, physical constraints currently present in your environment. We are not passengers trapped on a rigid track. We are active nodes of transformation. To exist is to be the very process of change, dancing in the eternal present.